Hello everyone, it is Barb Teckle. Happy July. So I just have to say July is my favorite month of the year. There's a good reason why. Because it's my birthday month. I love July. I am so thrilled that I was born in July. So I'm excited to bring this reading to you today. A lot has been pondering in my psyche, a lot of things that I've been working through. There's so much going on in the world right now. And I feel today, as I'm doing this reading, I feel at a much more peaceful place than I have felt in the last couple of weeks. So I thought, given what's going on in the world, so many of us are feeling overwhelmed. Perhaps you're feeling helpless. What do I do? Perhaps you are feeling you have been pulled back off center again. Or you've been off center for a while. So I thought today I would do something a little bit different. Instead of picking a card as our theme, I am going to pull a card. Actually, I'm going to pull two cards today around how do we stay in peace. And, you know, I could have phrased the question also, how do we bring ourselves back to peace? But I think they kind of interchange nicely. So maybe you're not in a peaceful place right now, and you're needing to get back to that space. So how do we stay in peace? Because whether we like it or not, our world is going to continue to be in this turmoil. And I am really understanding on even a deeper level again that it's about learning to roll with this, to roll with these chaotic times. It's time to really look at why are we being triggered within ourselves if a certain issue triggers us. It's always about bringing it back to ourselves. And trust me, I'm not always good at this either, but I am able to do it a lot quicker than I used to be able to, and turn it around and come back to myself and sit with myself and say, why am I feeling what am I feeling? What wound is it triggering in me? And then take the time to, listen to that and hold that part of myself and love that part of myself with so much compassion. Because I know that we're all doing the best that we can. I'm doing the best that I can. So let's look at that today. How do we stay in peace, or how do we bring ourselves back to peace? And actually, I had a wonderful meditation experience. Oh, was that last week? I wrote a blog post about it, and yeah, that just truly helped me too. If you're part of my newsletter, that will be in my newsletter. That is part of this as well, if you're listening that way. So, okay, let me get back on track here. How do we stay in peace? That is the question. So the deck I'm going to work with, actually two different decks today, but this is a newer deck I got recently, and I actually did a review on this deck. I really love this deck. There is so much depth to this, so many layers, and so many different ways you can work with this deck. I'm actually going to work with this and do my new moon reading for myself personally. But it is the Prairie Majesty Oracle by Kara Simmons, and the art is by Amy Putney Koenig. And I really cannot say enough good about this deck. It's become one of my favorites. So I love the inside of the box. Listen to hear, and look here to see. I love that. Look here to see. It's like looking within ourselves to see what we need to understand in order to get back to that peaceful place. And listen to hear. How often we don't listen to our own inner selves that are talking to us, trying to get our attention to bring us back to that peaceful place. So just from looking at the box, look what we got from that already, just from how that was presented and put together. So how do we stay in peace? Let's pull our first card from the Prairie Majesty Oracle. How do we stay in peace? Okay, interesting. So this card represents in nature the wind, and the word on there is blow, and those look like either purple coneflowers to me, though they're in black and white, or they look like, no, I guess they're not daisies. They're looking to me like coneflowers. So the question on the top says, how do I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? Wow, this is really a great question, because when I think about the question, how do we stay in peace? And I look at this question, how can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? The key word that jumps out at me here is intuition. That's how we get back to a place of peace, is trusting in what we're feeling, trusting in what feels right to us and what does not feel right to us. That's how we stay in a place of peace, because it's so easy to get pulled off center by what we're being told in the external world, even if it doesn't line up with what we're feeling in our heart. So I love the fact that this card is the wind and that the word is blow. And when you think about the wind and you think about how we stay in peace and we stay in touch with our intuition, and the way to peace is really feeling all that we feel. And that is about allowing it to move through us instead of pushing it down or going to an external factor or doing something else to distract ourselves. And just like the wind, we just have to allow it to blow through us. And maybe there's a day where you are feeling, pulled off center. Maybe sit outside when it's on a wind. Today's a windy day here. Sit outside on a windy day and just allow the wind to help shift that energy that it feels all consuming, that is making you feel weighed down, and just be light as the wind and allow everything to move through you. That was such a cool card to pull for the first, how do we stay in peace? I'm just going to set this card here because maybe more will come to me as I pull an animal card to go along with this reading today. And this is actually for the month of July. I should say that. I don't think I said it at the beginning. This is the reading for the month of July. And just what to pay attention to. And we are definitely seeing some very external signs of more things being shaken up. And according to different spiritual teachers I listen to, and I listen to various astrology teachers, this is the trajectory we're on right now. And this is going to be happening for the next couple of months. So it's so important that as more things come to the surface, the more that we stay in that centered peace within ourselves, and reminding ourselves that even though things, we can get caught up in the drama of what's happening in that external world, and then we feel insecure within ourselves. So the way back to peace is asking ourselves, why am I feeling insecure in this moment? How is that affecting me? Is it really affecting me? And I'm not saying that these things aren't affecting people, because they are. Excuse me, my nose, you ever notice that? If you follow my videos, every time I start a reading, my nose starts to itch. So, oh, now I lost my train of thought with my itchy nose. Maybe it'll come back to me. All right, let's just pull another card and maybe that'll come back to me. So what animal is going to guide us to help us to stay in a place of peace? The animals for me are just one of my ways in which I do that helps me stay in peace. It's about just sitting outside and listening to the birds, watching the squirrels, seeing the chipmunks scatter about. They just bring me so much joy. And they're just, obviously one of the blessings of animals is they don't get caught up in the external world and all the chaos and conflict that's going on. But that's a perfect opportunity to, is to tap into that energy that they're carrying and bring that into your own being as well. So what animal is going to guide us for the month of July to help us stay in peace, or bring us back to peace again, should we fall from that space? Man, I pulled this card a lot. When I use this deck, it seems I pull this card often. So it's the ever-evolving mystery. Interesting that the words at the bottom say release the joy. The ever-evolving mystery. So there's multiple animals on here. We have the pink flamingo. We have, I believe those are partridges at the top. We also have a small frog in the corner. I know this card pretty well. I know one of the very first times I pulled this card, maybe it was even the second time, I didn't realize the frog until a later point. So there's always something for us to gain. Even if you use the same deck over and over, you're going to see things in a different way. Every time you work with the deck, and maybe you know, it happens a lot where you're pulling the same card often because there's some message that you're supposed to get, or that we as a collective, since I'm doing this as a collective reading, that we are supposed to get. So I'm keying in on the ever-evolving mystery, and how do we stay in peace? It really is. And the word acceptance, which has come up in conversation lately with a couple of my people that are close to me in my life, the word acceptance and the ever-evolving mystery. As human beings, we are so afraid of change. Raising my hand, I'm with you. I don't like change, but I am learning to be better with that. I am learning to be better with the uncertainty. And those moments that I feel uncertain, I'm being called back to, for all of us when we feel uncertain. If you notice the heart, and the heart. It's about staying connected to our hearts and expanding that when we do that, and that peace that we feel when we connect inwardly and we heal what we need to heal within ourselves. Our heart, by default, expands in this amazing, beautiful energy to those around us and out into the universe. Just trust that that happens, because it does. It always comes back. How do we stay in peace? It has to begin with us. I truly believe there is no other way. It starts here first. It starts at home. So back to the ever-evolving mystery. You know, there are no promises when we come to this planet. There is nothing that is for certain. And the more that we can accept that, and the more that we can open ourselves to the mystery and trust that we have it within us to provide this safe place, to be that safe haven for ourselves, the more that we will be able to stay in that place of peace. Oh, I'm just looking at this again. I'm a little bit, release the joy. I feel like I have to personally sit with that for a while, because joy is my favorite word. And to release it seems counterintuitive to me. So maybe it's about, when I look at every evolving mystery and I look at the words release the joy, perhaps it's about releasing expectations too. That's what's coming to the forefront of my mind. Because when we release expectations, you know, when we look, because again, that's looking to an outside source to bring us joy. So we have to release those expectations of someone else or something else that we thought perhaps was the answer to our joy, when in fact it comes from within here. Oh, that was a big teaching I had this week for myself personally. So I really hope that that helped you as well. And again, I'm really being drawn to the hearts. The heart, I'm seeing now the heart within the two flamingos head to head. Oh, that's originally what I saw, but it just looked like it was a drawing. I didn't realize that. And then this heart, and the heart at the top. So as we each continue to find peace in our own hearts, that expands outward. And everybody else will feel that. They may not be able to voice it or say it in so many ways, but they will feel it. And that is so important at this time, that we all feel that we are each struggling in our own way, and we are each are doing the best that we can. And now I'm seeing this overall heart here. And when we all do our own work, we all come together in this beautiful vibration that can actually add more peace to the world. And that is how we stay in peace. I hope that was helpful. I feel like there's so much here. And the frog, I will say, always for me is about, it is about releasing what no longer fits for you or serves you in a beneficial way. It's about clearing out what you no longer need in order to move forward. You can't, like frogs leap, you can't leap until you've cleared the slate, until you've cleared the gunk. And that's how you get back to peace also. And we have to do that on a regular basis. And right now, these times we are going through, we're being called a lot to do that. And sometimes we really resist it. And but I'm here to encourage you to look at that, not to be afraid to look at that, and clear that slate and get in touch with what is hurting in your heart. And so often that is something that is a past pattern, a past wound that hasn't been healed. And when you heal that, you are automatically brought back. You are brought to this place of peace that you didn't have before. And I really, honestly, I've experienced that in the last 2 days, and I feel so much better. So I hope you will feel better too. And continue to stay in touch with your heart. And again, I really hope this reading was helpful. And that is it for the month of July. So I wish you much peace. I wish you an expansion of your heart. And it begins by having compassion with yourself. All right. Have a great month, everyone. I will see you again in August. Take good care. Bye-bye.